Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. This time, Zian didn't go into too many details. He just said very briefly, after my investigation, I discovered that there is a natural wormhole in the barren mountains on one of the core planets of the Ghana tribe. Just said this. Several senior brothers and sisters in the projection. Suddenly, everyone's expressions changed wildly, and the boiling murderous aura seemed to overflow across countless light years. The always gentle elder brother now had a stern look on his face. Damn it, this Ghanaian is really damned. The second senior sister's expression was extremely cold. I enjoy the safety of the human federation in the universe and eat our food, but we want to ruin our humanity. Huh. Lu Yu's beautiful little face turned cold instantly. Interesting, very interesting. In order to prevent interstellar pirates from attacking on a large scale and plundering the Ghanaian people. Even if the Ghana tribe refuses the entry of our federal army still has a large number of personnel chasing the interstellar pirates in that area. I'm going to tell you why every time the pirate group appears in the Ghana star system, it either has a name that I have never heard of, or it has never appeared in that area. That's it. Those pirate groups are probably disguised by the Ghanaians themselves, right? After a pause, Lu Guahao suddenly asked, he's not right. The Ghana tribe is born with a genetic defect. Even if you pretend to be a pirate group and gain evolution points, it will be of no use, right? The improvement of biological energy is the destination, so what's the use of so many evolution values? Or, the person on the other side of the wormhole? Zian directly told the answer, no need to guess. I saw with my own eyes that the inhuman starship came out of that wormhole. And, after coming out, the Ghanaian drone immediately applied camouflage coating, disguised as the logo of an interstellar pirate group. Hearing Zian's words, they all gasped in unison. Zhang Yuanhai's expression suddenly changed. What? Inhumans? These damn beasts are actually colluding with the Inhumans? Does this Ghanaian know that once the Inhumans launch a massive attack through this wormhole, it will cause terrible damage to us humans? Damn it. Junior brother, send me the coordinates immediately. I will immediately apply to the Universal Human Federation and personally lead the team to defeat this Ghanaian tribe. Personally led the team to defeat that Modi alien. Why is it that the occurrence of a natural wormhole is not reported? Is this a capital crime that the Federation of Universe and Humanity will never allow? Here's why. If the exit at the other end of the natural wormhole is connected to the human realm, that's okay. Perhaps it will be specially protected and used as a jumping stargate. But, once the other end is connected to the insects or Inhumans, if the opponent launches a large-scale attack, it is unimaginable how much harm it will cause to the human race. Don't say anything else. At least the Earth Federation. It will definitely be gone. And how many people are there in the Earth Federation? There are countless people. So many human casualties. Absolutely horrific. So, Ghanaians really deserve to be damned. Zian shook his head and said, Senior brother, you don't have to come. That Modi Iran is a low-level servant group of the Iran. The highest combat power is only 2 deep space ships. The kind of low-level people who don't even have star destroyers. I estimate that the natural wormhole will appear for a long time. The reason why there has been no large-scale attack. I'm afraid that the Black Iron Inhumans also want to use this wormhole to unite with the Ghana tribe. Go harvest the evolution value of the Ghana tribe's external mine protection fleet. To improve the strength of the clan. So the Black Iron Inhumans, I suspect that they even concealed the matter of this natural wormhole from the main group of Inhumans. Actually, we just took advantage of this opportunity. Let's launch a counterattack and completely wipe out the Modi aliens, even. Maybe it can be extended to a larger battlefield and cause greater damage to the Inhumans. Zian's smile at this time was like a devil. As long as the Inhumans don't invade through this natural wormhole, then this is our chance. Just seize this opportunity. I think it can actually turn into a good thing. That's why you don't have to come, senior brother. That's because the natural wormhole is an ultra-small one. The maximum diameter is 10,000 meters, and it can only pass an immortal ship. Eldest brother, even if your starship comes, it can't get in. Listen to what Zian said. The eyes of these senior brothers and sisters are getting brighter and brighter. Yes. This Ghanaian deserves to die. B. Since up to now, the Inhumans haven't attacked yet. Then maybe we can turn this extremely dangerous thing into something extremely beneficial to mankind. Let's launch a counterattack. This wave of counterattack will destroy at least one nebula area of the Inhumans. What is the nebula region? The current territory of the Earth Federation. It's just a Tianhan nebula. That is to say, this time counterattack maybe can destroy the Inhumans, a force equivalent to the Earth Federation. If the results increase again, the flames of war might be able to wipe out several Inhuman nebula-wide forces. Zhang Yuanhai's voice trembled. Destroy at least one nebula, pity. Hateful. Too bad it's just a super small natural wormhole. In fact, it just needs to be a little bigger, just needs to be a little bigger. He can kill it. That terrifying feat, the benefits gained. It will definitely allow him to break through to his current level. Second senior sister, Qi Jingyi, also looked depressed. Because her starship. It also surpassed the immortal ship, that is, it exceeded 10,000 meters. Can't get through it at all. Wu Lu and Lu Yuyu smiled as if their faces were blooming. Wu Lu said nothing. He immediately said, I will talk to my father about this now. Yu, tell your grandpa about this right away. Lu Yuyu nodded hurriedly, okay, I'll talk to my grandpa now. Ah, by the way, junior brother, you must be careful and careful over there, you know? If it doesn't work, just give up on this mission for now. I'm going to talk to my grandpa about this first. Third senior brother, please remember to bring more immortal ships over. Wu Lu chuckled, how many ships? No, this time I will directly take 80% of the immortal ships of the Soul Empire with me. Lu Yuyu opened her mouth. Qi Jingyi also patted her forehead. Zhang Yuanhai was also speechless and said, no, third junior brother. Are you planning to give away all your family's wealth or something? That's just a black iron alien race with only 2 deep spaceships at most. How powerful do you expect the Amotai human tribe to be? Just go to 1 or 2 boats. If it goes too far, once its jump fluctuation is too violent, it attracts the attention of the powerful Inhumans. The family background of your divine soul empire will be revealed to you every time. Don't be impulsive, just hold on tight. Wu Lu pursed his lips, thought for a while, and said helplessly, okay. But this time I was able to kill a nebula from the Inhumans. Actually, I made a lot of money. Haha, let's do it then. Finished. Just left the communication. Lu Yuyu didn't hesitate to see this. I ran directly to call someone. The senior brother and second senior sister were not in a hurry to leave, because they couldn't get through it, they could only watch helplessly, so naturally there was nothing to rush about. Maybe it was because Zian looked confused. Senior brother Zhang Yuanhai explained with a smile, no need to be surprised. The federal president of your Earth Federation is named Lu. Yes, he is your fourth senior sister's grandfather. Qi Jingyi also seemed to find the junior fellow student's stunned look amusing. The corner of his mouth raised a beautiful arc. Qi Jingyi's voice was cold, and she said in a playful tone, your third senior brother. He is the eldest son of the king of the Soul Empire. He is also the first heir to the throne of the Soul Empire. Zian opened his mouth even wider, then there was silence. The Soul Empire. It is the most powerful country near them. The division of regions of the universe is Star System, Large Galaxy, Star Region, Nebula, Star Cluster, Star Field, Galaxy, Star Sea. Earth Federation. Nord Jiao is a nebula country. The so-called Nebula Kingdom. It is a country whose territory reaches up to the Nebula Range. Of course, whether you control 1, 100, or 10,000 nebulae, as long as they do not reach the scope of the star cluster, they all belong to the Nebula Kingdom. And this Soul Empire, it's a star country. Under his command, he controls more than 700 star clusters and hundreds of thousands of nebulae. Or to put it more simply, it is the territory of the Soul Empire, equivalent to the territory of hundreds of thousands of Earth federations. So, my fourth senior sister is the granddaughter of the president of the Earth Federation. My third senior brother is the heir to the Soul Empire. B. Where is the second senior sister? B. Where's the big brother? B. And also known as the pride of the Earth Federation, where is Master Xiaodong Lu? Them. What is your identity? Zian doesn't know. Although this is the age of the universe and interstellar space. But a lot of information is absolutely blocked. This is to avoid being infiltrated by human traitors and enemies, or taking action after knowing the strength of human beings. What is their specific identity? Zian doesn't know. But one thing is clear to Zian. BBT. I am the most incompetent little rookie, although I know that my senior brothers and sisters have strong backgrounds. You, Zian, are not discouraged. Because he is still young. These senior brothers and sisters. The youngest fourth senior sister has lived for thousands of years. Give yourself thousands of years. Zian believes that with his current growth rate, I'm afraid they have already become one of the top powerhouses in the universe. At that time, I might be able to suppress the universe with one person and one ship, with no background. Is it still important? Think about it this way, Zian is full of motivation again. After hanging up the communication video, Zian thought for a while and said in the private channel, Xiaomi, Chichi, Taimei. In 5 days, the people above will send strong men to directly crush the Ghana tribe. So in the past few days, everyone in the family has been alert. It's best to have no enemies these days. Whenever an enemy comes, fight if you can, and run away if you can't. Preserving yourself is the most important thing. When our support arrives, you won't have to worry about not having any evolution points. The three women were all shocked by Zian's words. They really couldn't figure it out. What happened? He actually allowed the higher-ups to directly send strong men over to flatten the Ghana tribe. This kind of thing should never be said casually. Whenever a certain ethnic group is to be suppressed, according to the tolerance of the Universal Human Federation, that must be the bottom line of this ethnic group. In other words, there was a collective rebellion. In this way, the Universal Human Alliance will send out strong men to directly flatten an entire race. The three women all fell silent. As members of the Human Federation of the Universe, they are also members of the Orthodox human race in the vassal universe. I deeply understand a truth. The Orthodox human race of the universe is usually very tolerant, even very tolerant, of these vassal races. He even treats them completely as one of his own. 983, but once you get ruthless, no one can afford that. Chichi took a deep breath and asked with a trembling voice, what happened? Actually, you actually want to come and crush this Ghanaian tribe? Don't blame her for this. The Ghanaian ethnic group is no matter how small it is. That is also a race with a population of 800 billion. That's a population of 800 billion. According to the temperament of the human race, it really needs to be flattened. Then these 80 million people, no matter men, women, or children. Absolutely, 100%. No chickens or dogs left. Cutting off the weed must remove the root. Never leave any trouble for yourself. Zian's voice was cold, don't ask any more unnecessary questions. I can only say that I use a series of technical means. It was discovered that there is a natural wormhole in the Ghana tribe. And this natural wormhole is connected to the Inhumans. The reason why the Ghanaian people have not allowed the federal army to move in, and they have not hired a powerful fleet, because of their association with the Inhumans disguised themselves as interstellar pirates. take action against these hired human fleets and gain evolution points. In fact, I only heard Zian say that there was a natural wormhole in this Ghanaian tribe. The three girls immediately understood why the human race was so aggressive. After listening, I also completely understood why the human race sent strong men to crush the Ghana tribe. As an orthodox human race, Zian, why is there such murderous ore boiling over? Taime snorted coldly, damn it, this Ghanaian is so damned. Meow Xiaomi couldn't agree more, it's really damn. Haha, you actually colluded with the Inhumans and used our human fleet as an evolutionary value? Hu Chi-Chi's big eyes, BBCB, narrowed and flashed with an extremely dangerous light. This Ghanaian is really looking for death. So what do we do now? Should we leave directly and wait for support, or should we continue to guard here? The third female, although not an orthodox human race, but the ethnic group they belong to has shared with the human race for countless years, having completely transformed into a member of the human race. When he heard what the Ghanaians did, he was naturally filled with indignation. Zian thought for a while. If you continue to stay. In fact, it is very dangerous. It's true that they are strong. However, an inhuman fleet was destroyed. A more powerful inhuman fleet will inevitably come. Might as well leave now. Wait for support to arrive and just flatten the Ghana tribe. At that time, maybe you can follow the large army and kill directly into the alien territory. When the time comes, don't worry about not having any evolution value. As for the punishment after abandoning the mission, Zian didn't really care. Because when the time comes, the Ghanaian incident will be exposed. Be that discover yourself. Not only will the reputation points and points of the brilliant fleet not be deducted, there may even be a surge. So just to be on the safe side, Zian believes that it is not as good as temporarily. When the time comes, it will be wiped out all at once. Thinking of this, he immediately said, let's go. There's no need to wait here. You won't have to worry about not having enough evolution points when support arrives. When the time comes, I will take you with me to follow the large army and invade the hinterland of the Inhumans. At that time, I was afraid that the evolution points would be too much to eat. After hearing what Zian said, the eyes of the three women were all bright and sharp. Meow Xiaomi was immediately surprised and said, You can still lead us to invade the Inhumans? But are you sure you can go there by then? Will those strong men allow us to pass? Zian smiled slightly and said, Don't worry about this. The strong ones who come are all our own. I said I can go, then I can go. You guys make preparations first, I'll contact the school first. Now there are such benefits. Of course, Zian will not forget school. But this is not because he only thinks about school. But think about the rewards from school. Last time, I just notified the school and went to kill a few star destroyers and a few deep space ships. How much benefit have you gained? A full 20,000 points. Notify the school now. This is the reward. If the points are less than 100,000, do you think the school is embarrassed? It will definitely not be less than 100,000. And not just yourself. There are 3 more girls. They will also receive corresponding rewards from the school. School awards. Earth Federation rewards. There are also rewards from the Universe Federation. Even the sole empire of my 3rd senior brother's family can't be embarrassed and refuse to reward my junior brother, right? That is to say, this time I can eat 4 rewards. When the time comes, you can follow them to the Inhuman territory and reap a lot of rewards. No fool would do such a thing. Thinking of this, I immediately became friends. Then he pulled the principal, several vice principals, and Haitang into a temporary communication group. After the last incident, Zian can be said to have captured all the top executives of Shenzhou University. Their friends have them all themselves. There is no problem in setting up a temporary communication group. Haitang, ? Gu Qingzhan, ? Zhang Wushuang, ? Several principals, question mark. Question marks popped out one by one. Zian doesn't talk nonsense at all. Send a group video. Although he was asking Zian crazy questions. But the answering speed is quite fast. A figure appeared. Because they know. Zian took the brilliant fleet out to perform a mission this time. Normally they will not be contacted. We will not drag them into a communication group to communicate like now. Something must have happened. No. Just connected. Zhan Wushuang's loud voice immediately asked, Zian, what's wrong? Did you encounter any danger? Haitang was even more straightforward, give me the coordinates. Although Gu Qingzhan and others did not ask, their eyes showed concern. For Zian, one of the most powerful geniuses since the establishment of Shenzhou University. They regard Zian as the future of Shenzhou University. What's more, Zian took them to a big meal last time, especially Principal Zhang. It can be said that Zian saved his life. Therefore, they are very concerned about Zian's safety. A smile appeared on Zian's face, and he suddenly stretched out his hand towards Principal Gu Qingzhan and said with a smile, Principal, give me 1 million points to spend. The concerned expression on Gu Qingzhan's face suddenly stiffened. The rest of the people looked at Zian in confusion. Zhan Wushuang looked Zian up and down and said doubtfully, did you take the wrong medicine? Haitang was also full of suspicion. Looking at several senior school officials who were shocked by his easy words. Zian smiled proudly, his expression gradually turned serious, and he said in a deep voice, I will send you a group message this time. Being a member of the school has its benefits and I must think of you. You don't need to ask too many questions. During my mission, I discovered a race that rebelled against humanity. Within this race, there is a wormhole that leads directly to the Inhumans. Now, I have shaken people. When the time comes, a large number of strong people will come. First crush this race, and then prepare to counter-invade the Inhumans. So, school leaders, are you interested? Let's talk first. I want to know the address of this mission and participate in it. No problem. I will tell my senior sisters and they will agree, but I also want benefits. I don't want 1 million points. Because I know you won't give it to me either. But giving me the title of vice principal is not too much, right? No other meaning. I'm just interested in the vice principal's monthly salary of 3,000 points. This is my request. Isn't it too much? Zian finished. These people were projected virtually. His face turned green. I first heard Zian's words. Each of these people counts. All of them had golden eyes, and their eyes widened. His breathing became rapid. Exciting, exhilarating, ecstatic. But listen, listen. Each face turned black, and finally turned green. WTF? You, a student who has just entered school for less than a year, told me that you want to be the vice principal? Gu Qingzhan's face turned dark, change the conditions. 1 million points is impossible. It's even more impossible for the vice principal. What? You're only a freshman and now you're going to be the vice principal? Are you going to kick me out of my sophomore year and become the principal? Zian smiled and said, that's not impossible. Seeing that Gu Qingzhan's face turned even greener, Zian coughed lightly and added, that. I want to be the vice principal, because I just want a salary of 3,000 points per month. I have decided that I have no intention of replacing you as the principal. Besides, as long as the principal and vice principal can bring reputation and benefits to the school, right? Look, I don't dare to say anything else, but I'm determined to be number 1 in the Star Wars series and first in the Evolution series this year. And I also participated in the Young Evolutionary Competition of the Earth Federation Evolutionary Association, and I will definitely come first. Did it bring a great honor to the school? With me here, our Shenzhou University will be at least in the top 3 in this competition. And as long as the research department and culture department work hard, it is not impossible to be number 1. Not to mention the benefits. How many days have it been? Look, we destroyed thousands of starships and deep space ships last time, right? Now you can even penetrate into the hinterland of the Inhumans. So I think I'm beaver for a vice principal position. And you can't talk about the principal alone, right? Dear vice principals? Zian asked the vice principals with a wink. Vice principals, look at me, and I look at you. How many years have they been the vice president of China University? It's the first time, it's really the first time, I saw a freshman who wanted to be the vice principal. But the key. But. It seems that you are also thinking about what others are saying? Several vice principals looked at each other. Zhang Wushuang coughed lightly, his eyes wandering. Ahem, what about that? Dad, how about, or why don't you give him the job of vice principal? Anyway, there's a lot to eat. 3,000 points a month is nothing, right? Besides, his contribution this time is really too great. Not to mention being the vice principal, just being, well, that's all, I think it's okay. Anyway, we have so many vice presidents in China University, one more is not much. Gu Qingzhan was stunned. Vice Principal Zhang touched the tip of his nose and said, then what? Actually, I think it's nothing, right? After saying that, he didn't dare to look at Gu Qingzhan. The other two vice principals also spoke one after another. Lao Gu, how about giving him the vice principal? Yes, you see, Shaoan can still think of us with such a big piece of fat this time, because he has our China University in his heart. He is just a vice president. Gu Qingzhan rubbed his forehead and said speechlessly, you guys, are you really willing to sacrifice anything just to raid the hinterland of the Inhumans? Do I care about the vice principal? What I care about is that he is just a freshman and he is given the vice principal role. How is it inappropriate to say this? After a pause, he coughed slightly and said with a slightly erratic look, it's impossible for the vice principal. That doesn't make sense. But, the dean is still okay. Just be the dean of the evolution department, but I also have a request. If you don't get the top 3 in this evolution competition, and if you don't lead the evolution department to get the 3rd place in the academy this time, I'll get this dean down for you at any time. In addition, points will be calculated for you every month. 3,000 points will be calculated for you per month. Is this no problem? The surprise came too suddenly. Zian was actually just teasing the principal, casually. After all, as a freshman, the last semester has not even ended yet, and he is already the dean, vice president or something like that. Some are too ridiculous. I really agreed. Although not the vice principal. But how can the dean and vice principal be so different? The key is that you still get 3,000 points for free every month. Equivalent to what? This is equivalent to Zian getting 3,000 wealth points for free every month. This is definitely not a small amount. He suddenly smiled and said repeatedly, okay. No problem, the dean is the dean. I'll send you the coordinates now. Come quickly, support will arrive in 5 days. Don't blame me if you can't catch up by then. Gu Qingzhan was speechless and seemed to no longer want to talk to Zian. After being a principal for so many years, I have never seen such an arrogant student. But the key. Their contribution is indeed too great. And they are direct beneficiaries. This time Zian provided the information. It can even make these people's strength directly rise to a large level collectively. This is definitely a huge gift. Just a dean. Not to mention, in the Department of Evolution, if Zian becomes the dean, actually, it's really not impossible. Zian's talent lies here. This is also his background in the Evolution Department. If the Evolution Division can really get the 1st place in the Academy under his leadership, it can also get the 1st place among the young Evolution Divisions in the Evolution Division competition. I'm afraid that the Evolution Division of Shenzhou University will really rise to prominence because of him. In this way, as the dean, he seems to be profitable. Hang up communication. Zian, who had somehow gained the identity of the dean, was very happy. It's almost time to see the delay. He immediately said, "Get ready, let's get ready to evacuate." After that, I didn't care about the mission anymore, and I didn't even bother to talk to the people in the inner clan. Directly activate the brilliance, take the 3 girls, and head outside. Their actions did not arouse the Ghanaian people's attention. What's more, the Ghanaian people believe that the fleet accepted the mission and came here. No one is willing to let their reputation score be damaged, and their scores drop suddenly and leave suddenly. Besides, even if you leave, just leave. There are many external mine protection teams. I'm not afraid of killing the Inhumans at all. Asking for flowers. Then. Brilliant fleet. He left the Ghana star system easily. No one even tried to stop him. He just asked, and Zian casually replied that he had something to do at home. The other party didn't bother to care. Anyway, there are plenty of external fleets here. Zian didn't have the heart of a holy mother to remind those external fleets. It's not that he is cruel. But after being reminded, they will definitely be discovered by the Ghana tribe and the alien tribe. When the time comes when the Inhumans see that things are exposed, they will take the lead and launch a massive attack. That's no joke. The fate of these fleets. I can only leave it to fate. Zian can't control it. He left the Ghana star system smoothly and didn't go far. Waiting in a meteorite belt a light year away, waiting for support to arrive. Take advantage of this time. Zian is going to enter the Star Wars simulation to train hard for a few days. Waiting for a large-scale attack, maybe we can kill a few more starships. The original plan was to evolve into a Tier 3 frigate in the Ghana star system. It can only be put on hold temporarily. Let's finish this battle first. As for the 3 girls. Then he also started studying. They all listened to Zian's words. Zian told them to study more, and they would study hard whenever they had free time. Work hard to improve yourself so that you can keep up with Zian's footsteps. 5 days, in the dimension of the universe, does not take the blink of an eye. On the 5th day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, cosmic time. Zian finished another Star Wars simulation. Finally received a communication call from Lu Yuyu. As soon as the call was connected, Lu Yuyu asked, "Junior brother. We have arrived at the coordinates you gave us. How is the situation now?" Zian parked the brilliant fleet here with the intention of monitoring the Ghanaian people. In the past few days, my little wife, the brilliant account, has been secretly watching. When Yen replied, "The situation is not abnormal." "How many people did you bring here?" Lu Yuyu replied, "I brought the 2nd and 3rd Federal Armies here. There is absolutely no problem in flattening that Modi alien. Not to mention the people brought by senior brother, Shisan. Including 3rd senior brother himself, there are 3 immortal ships in total. 50 star destroyers are coming. 500 deep space ships have arrived. There are countless others left." Zian was speechless secretly. He is worthy of being the great prince of the Soul Empire. Star destroyers are all counted in double digits. Really awesome, with this firepower. There is absolutely no problem in flattening forces like the Earth Federation. The distribution of forces of the alien race is also similar. Nebula-level forces, at most, have star destroyers as their top combat capabilities. FFLX. It is really possible to destroy more than one nebula this time, and maybe even several nebula forces of the Inhumans. Let alone the dazzling fleet, follow behind and drink soup. Just a little smell. You can all make a lot of money. And at this time, on the principal's side, there were also 3 senior brothers who also sent messages at the same time. After Zian gave an address, 3 parties. Tens of thousands of people gathered towards him. The mighty starship army brought an unparalleled sense of oppression. In front of the 2 armies. Principal, they have 1 star destroyer, 4 deep space ships, 7 battleships, 1 cruiser. It seems a bit insignificant. Not to mention Haitong's cruiser. The remaining starships are all the high-end combat power of Shenzhou Academy. Tell the truth. Shenzhou Academy is indeed the #1 Star Wars Academy in the Earth Federation. Just this high-end combat capability. No school can provide it. But now compare with these two starship armies, then it's nothing. Lu Yuyu sighed. That is the Earth Federation. 5-star destroyers arrived. More than last time. There are countless deep space ships, battleships, and cruisers left. This attack. Because time is tight. The lowest are cruisers. The same goes for Wulu. And speaking of Wulu, it was also the first time that Zian saw the immortal ship in reality. This is the immortal ship, giving Zian the most direct intuitive feeling. The maximum length of the immortal ship is 9,999 meters. The more detailed data is 9,999.9 meters, 387 is less than 10,000 meters. And the immortal ship. It is the strongest starship within 10,000 meters. In the universe. Within 10,000 meters and above 10,000 meters. Definitely a huge hurdle. Let's put it that way. Within 10,000 meters. Be the strong one. 10,000 meters up. He is a super strong person who can truly suppress an entire universe. The span of a starship exceeding 10,000 meters will become extremely large. Within 10,000 meters, the length increases by hundreds or thousands. On top of 10,000 meters, the span can often be tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of meters. It's completely no longer on the same level. To put it more simply, the immortal ship is the final step towards becoming a super strong person. Third senior brother Wu Lu is undoubtedly the top supergroup in the universe. His starship is about 9,600 meters long. It's about to reach its limit. This means every time he made a breakthrough in a major realm before, he was at least the 9th level. It might even be the next level of peak performance. Lu Yuyu is actually in the same situation. This is like the other two immortal ships. One boat is 8,300 meters. One boat is 8,600 meters. This is the difference between the top talents. Whether it is 8,300 meters or 8,600 meters. They are all perfect immortal ships. No. The principal and others, who had just arrived at the gathering place, had their eyes bulging out. Even the principal. Looking at the 3 immortals, 50 star destroyers, and 500 deep space ships. Also shivering. Quite a while. Gu Qingzhan just swallowed, and his voice changed. Is this what you call a swaying person? Zian looked innocent. Yes. My third senior brother, Wu Lu. The people he brought. Gu Qingzhan and others' eyes widened again. WTF? Lu Yuyu is Zian's 4th senior sister. They are already numb. Tell me now. His 3rd senior brother. Is it the captain of the immortal ship? And he is the captain of the immortal ship who can bring so many terrifying helpers. Zhang Wushuang suddenly seemed to remember something and screamed, dig a trench. Wu Lu. Your 3rd senior brother, your name is Wu Lu? Zian nodded. Zhang Wushuang was dumbfounded, if I remember correctly. So your 3rd senior brother is the eldest prince of the Soul Empire? Listen to Zhang Wushuang's words. Everyone gasped in unison. Soul Empire? That is a huge force countless times more powerful than the Earth Federation. Although the Earth Federation is an independent force. But, compared with other people's Soul Empire, it's nothing. 3rd senior brother Zian. Is he the great prince of the Soul Empire, the future king of the Soul Empire? This moment. Even the way Gu Qingzhan looked at Zian changed. He suddenly felt regretful. I regret that I didn't agree to give the position of vice principal to Zian 5 days ago. There is such a great god in Shenzhou Academy. Just ask what kind of rookies are the remaining Earth Federation colleges? Of course. That's all he thought about. I really want him to give Zian the status of vice principal because of Zian's background. He couldn't get over this in his own mind. But it has been decided, what if Zian does something good next time? The vice principal doesn't even need Zian to say yes. Give him. That's right. Shenzhou University already has 4 vice presidents, but this one is still missing? As long as Zian doesn't want to steal his position as principal. Zian didn't know the principal's inner activities at this moment. Because at this time, the 3rd senior brother had already asked Zian to go down and have a chat. The place where we chatted was on a meteorite nearby. Wu Lu, Lu Yuyu, and the strong men brought by both sides were already waiting above, after talking to the principal and others. Zian opened the hatch and flew directly over. The principal and the others followed closely behind, including Princess Meow Meowie. It's very simple for them to come over. Just curious. Curious about Zian's identity. Seriously. Zian's wave of summons summoned so many powerful men. Until this moment. Their heads were still buzzing. This meteorite is big enough. There's more than enough room for them. And Zian has just fallen. Wu Lu then walked forward with a smile and hugged Zian's waist, then raised his head, stepped on his feet, and patted Zian's shoulder. He smiled and said, "Junior brother, he is so handsome in real life." This is the first time the two have met in real life. Zian smiled and said, "There is no way, the word handsome is not more dazzling than my talent. The word handsome will definitely stick with me throughout my life." Wu Li's eyes widened. There was nothing he could do about it. Mainly because of what Zian said. It's a bit shameless. Lu Yuyu rolled her eyes crazily at Zian. Gu Qingzhan, who followed behind, was even more speechless. He finally discovered it. This Zian. More shameless than he imagined. The other strong men, such as the other 2 captains of the immortal ship, also had expressions of laughter on their faces. Lu Yuyu said at this time, "Let's talk about the gossip later. Now let's talk about the situation. Let's get down to business." Everyone became serious. Zian stopped joking and said in a deep voice, "The general outline of the matter is actually what I told you. Originally, when I took over the task of protecting the mine, the Ghanaian people treated me with a very cold attitude, which in itself was abnormal. Then I heard my senior sister talk about the Ghanaian people. They refused the Free Federal Army garrison and would rather spend their own money to hire them. This is even more abnormal. So I used some technical means to investigate. I really found out the secret of the Ghana tribe." With that said, Zian opened the star map of the Ghanaian star system on the optical brain arm, pointing to the core planet in the red restricted area. Said, "That natural wormhole. On this planet, and through technical means, I witnessed with my own eyes an inhuman starship coming out of it and then being spray-painted by the Garner drone to look like a pirate. I don't dare to stay any longer for fear of being discovered. The rest is waiting for you. This is all I know. This time it happened." Zian certainly cannot describe it in detail. Once described, the things about the system and the little wife's brilliant account will inevitably be exposed. I can only make a general summary. But fortunately, the leader is his senior brother and sister, they just have to trust themselves. Even if they don't tell them, they will never ask themselves what technical means they are using. Really. They don't care whether they believe Zian's words or not. There was no intention of asking at all. I just chose to believe it. After looking at the star map a few times, the action plan for this time was directly decided. In fact, there is no action plan. The simplest plan of action. Just crush it all the way. Then enter the hinterland of the Inhumans. Start the killing spree. It's that simple. Wu Lu is the strongest, so this operation was directed by him. Wu Li's eyes turned cold and he said coldly, "This action and situation. Our Divine Soul Empire has reported it to the Universal Federation of Humanity. The Universal Human Federation has approved our Operation 4.9 permission and gave us instructions. If the information is true, then this Ghanaian tribe will leave no chickens or dogs behind. Wait a minute, let's crush it directly and lock the wormhole. After confirming the authenticity of the wormhole. Speaking of which, an extremely cold and cruel smile appeared on the corner of Wu Li's mouth. He said coldly, "First, flatten this Ghanaian tribe. Plow all the cities on the planet for me. I don't want to see any of the buildings left. But be careful not to blow up the planet. The molybdenum crystal mine now belongs to the wealth of the Human Federation in our universe." After confirming that there is no longer a living member of this Ghanaian tribe. "Come with me again. Go and crush the Modi aliens." This performance will be recorded in its entirety in the information files of the Universal Human Federation. I hope everyone will do their best. Wu Li's voice fell. The boiling murderous aura suddenly seemed to be real. Kill the entire clan. Cold-blooded and bloody. But it's also a warning. It's even more punishment from the human race. Let all non-orthodox humans take a look. Betrayed the human race. What kind of ending will it be? The Universal Federation of Humanity. It is a human race alliance headed by 7 overlord forces, 12 super forces, and 108 top forces. The Earth Federation and the Soul Empire. They are all members of the Universal Human Federation. But those who really have the actual power are the 7 overlords, the 12 supers, and the 108 top ones. For example, this time they defeated the Ghanaian people. It must be reported to the Universal Human Federation. Then only if the Universal Human Federation agrees, can it take action against the Ghana tribe. And the entire process must be filmed to confirm that the Ghana tribe indeed has a wormhole and has indeed betrayed the human race. This is to prevent anyone from seeking revenge. If the enemy is too strong, the Universal Federation of Humanity will also take action in person. But the Ghanaian people. It is obvious that the Federation of Universe and Humanity will not be able to survive in person. Even if they come, the wormhole is too small to pass through. Plan confirmed. It is executed directly, this time at the request of Zian. He was also allowed to join the battle. But only Zian was allowed to follow. Then the starships of assault ships and below will be lowered, allowing Zian's fleet to harvest the evolution value. They will wipe out everything above destroyers to ensure that Zian's fleet can harvest evolutionary values smoothly in the rear. This is a kind of feedback to Zian for his great contribution. Starship Army. Finally dispatched. The fleet headed by Lu Yuyu's Star Destroyer. It will break into the wormhole planet with a super precise Jump 11 assault. Control the wormhole first. Prevent people here from running over and passing the message back. If the news is passed back, there will be a large army of aliens waiting for them there. Either that, or the Inhumans are fleeing in large numbers. So controlling wormholes is a top priority. Secondly, the rest of the army surrounded the entire Ghana star system. 3 immortal ships. It exists as a suppressive force. Basically, this is the arrangement for the Ghanaian people. Army, move out together. At the moment of dispatch, the wormhole control team was led by Lu Yuyu, Gu Qingzhan, and several star destroyers from the Divine Soul Empire. Direct and precise positioning. Enter the pulse transition. At the same time, all the armies dispersed. Turn into a round ball. They moved towards the Ghana tribe to encircle them. Zian. He hurriedly followed Zhang Wushuang and the others and rushed straight towards the Ghana star system. Simple, direct, and brutal, in the face of absolute power. There aren't that many tactics to tell you. Just crush it all the way. At the same time, Garner star system. Still unaware that he had been exposed. They are still waiting. Waiting for more mine protection fleets to arrive. Then we can let these Modian human starships pretend to be pirates and clean up these mine protection fleets. In the past 5 days, they have not taken action. After all, if you do it too frequently, it will definitely arouse suspicion. The core members of the Ghanaian ethnic group, while still respectfully entertaining the Imotiiran, suddenly take a bath. The sound of missiles being launched through the air came, startling everyone. Immediately afterwards, there was a terrifying explosion. The power of its explosion is huge. Part of the houses in their area collapsed. Whether it was the core members of the Ghana tribe or these Modi aliens, everyone's expressions changed wildly. What happened? Who? Who was firing? The leader of the Ghana clan roared and asked. Finally, in his light brain, the frightened voice of the Na clan came over. Chief, we are under attack. A lot of starships are coming and they are firing at our wormhole. Listen to what the other person says. The chief of the Ghana tribe suddenly felt dizzy. Shooting into a wormhole? That means... Has the wormhole incident been exposed? He was furious and shouted, Why? Why didn't the radar we bought at a large price detect their approach in the first place? Amidst the roar, he had already run to the window himself, and when he saw those starships in the sky in the distance outside the window, his expression gradually became pale and dull. He got it. No idea why their radar didn't respond. I know even more why the enemy starships have put their heads in front of these radars. None of these radars can detect each other. Star Destroyer. 8 Star Destroyers in total. Their radar is indeed very high-end and expensive. It is far from high-end. The ability to detect Star Destroyers. And the appearance of these 8 Star Destroyers. It also seems to be foretelling. The Ghana tribe has been planning for tens of thousands of years. Seen. Completely exposed. His eyes turned red instantly and he pressed the optical brain watch. He yelled, Everyone! Remember, it's everyone! Run away! Run away from me all! No matter which direction you run away from me. What he can do. He could only let his own people escape. He hates. I hate why the discovery of wormholes is not delayed for another year or two. Because it will be delayed for another year or two. When their molybdenum crystal mine was completely hollowed out. That was when their tribe completed the great migration from the human race to the alien race. There is only a difference of 2 years. He hated it even more. I hate myself for being greedy. In fact, it has been excavated over the years. There is not much molybdenum crystal ore left. The remaining molybdenum crystal ore is only enough for them to dig for another 2 years. Greed and luck made him completely cut off their last hope with the Na people. The moment he gave the order, countless Ghanaian core members began to flee in all directions. As for ordinary Ghanaians, I couldn't care less. And ordinary Ghanaians have no idea of their plan. At the same time, there are no biological captains among ordinary Ghanaians. Escape with a mechanical starship? Or escape by spaceship? Suddenly, Chief Ghana saw the Modiiran next to him. It was as if he had grasped the last straw. Immediately shouted excitedly, Lord! I beg you to send troops to crush this Earth Federation. Only you can save us. We, the Ghana tribe, surrendered to you tens of thousands of years ago. The black iron alien swallowed a gulp of saliva. The metal lips trembled. Suddenly he yelled, Get out of here! Tell me how to notify? Tell me how to notify? A total of 8 Star Destroyers now control this wormhole. How can I get there? Tell me? Hiss, then, what is that? Is that the immortal ship? The Ghanaian patriarch's expression was stunned. Now there are 8 Star Destroyers controlling the other side of the wormhole. With their few soldiers and generals, not to mention 8 Star Destroyers. Even if a battleship comes, they can't defeat it. And listen to what this Imotiiran said. The Ghanaian patriarch quickly looked in that direction. The moment I saw the starship surrounding me, All his strength was completely lost at this moment. He collapsed weakly on the ground. His eyes were dull and horrified as he looked at the starships in the sky, silent and speechless. Immortal ship. 3 immortal ships. Besides, a large number of standard starships. He knows. This time, I'm afraid it's not just the Earth Federation army that's coming. *89, there is also a stronger army. At this moment, the Mo Tairan next to him realized something. His face changed wildly. Damn it. These humans, they plan to counterattack our Inhumans. No. Definitely not 140. This is absolutely not allowed. He panicked. If these human races really used this to counterattack their alien races. Don't say anything else. They are the Dark Iron Inhumans. Definitely die. The cruelty of the human race. They, the Inhumans and the insects, all have extremely profound experiences. Thinking of this, his expression became ferocious. He gave the leader of the Ghana tribe next to him a hard push, his eyes turned red, and he said, "Let your tribesmen attack this wormhole immediately. Hurry up. Even if only one ship rushes over, it's okay." Immediately. The Ghanaian patriarch seemed not to hear. Smiling like a lunatic. Rush? What to use? Tell me, what can we, the Ghana tribe, use to attack the wormhole, guarded by 8 star destroyers? That's 8 star destroyers. But he no longer needed to answer. The next second, his pupils instantly widened. I saw those human armies that formed an encirclement. All starships spoke at the same time, including those 3 immortal ships, directly to their Ghanaian star system. Launched a devastating blow. Look at the opponent's posture. The plan is to leave no one behind. Ha 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 ha. I have become a sinner of the Na tribe. Ha ha ha. The Ghanaian patriarch laughed maniacally. 4 lines of bright red blood tears rolled down from the 4 corners of his eyes. Look at the cities on those planets in the Ghana star system, covered by terrifying weapons one after another. Watching one city after another turn into powder. There were even satellites that were inhabited by people and were blown up directly. Then he knew. Ghanaian people. From his hand. From his generation. Completely removed. Human race. They will annihilate the Ghanaian tribe. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Brilliant fleet, we have captured another Ghana fleet here for you. Come on, we are surrounded by them. Rumbles, explosions. Only there was no scream. Because the screams haven't even come out yet. It has been swept away by large-scale missiles and high-explosive artillery shells. Suzy and them also joined in this massacre battle. Kill. There is no psychological pressure at all. Psychological stress? No. These Ghanaians deserve to die, all of them deserve to die. Because according to the news just sent back by Wulu, they captured the Ghanaian chief. Then he was directly interrogated using cranial nerves. So-called cranial nerve interrogation. It is to use technical means to directly take over your brain. Then everything you have done before will be revealed one by one. You don't think that the interrogation methods in this era are still the same as in the 21st century, through torture, psychological warfare, or some kind of drugs, right? Stop it. As long as you're not dead. In other words, as long as your head has not completely fallen into brain death, then you can easily get all your information. There is no need to interrogate you at all. Just now, the Ghanaian clan leader was interrogated in this way. The results obtained. Not surprisingly. Ghanaian people. I have had a rebellious heart for a long time. The reason for their rebellion is also very simple. In the beginning, they had no rebellious intentions. Reject the entry of the Earth Federation's federal troops. Simply because they are very repulsive to foreigners. Secondly, they are not willing to divide part of the benefits. It's that simple. Then one day, a natural wormhole appeared out of thin air in the territory of the Ghana tribe. After investigation, the Ghanaians discovered that the other end of the wormhole actually led to the territory of the Inhumans. At first, they were frightened. But slowly, they became excited. They seemed to have found an opportunity to change their destiny. Because of the genetic defects inherent in the Ghanaian people, there are very few people who can awaken bioenergy. In the Cosmic Human Federation, human body modification is an absolutely prohibited behavior. Moreover, the human body modification technology of the Universal Human Federation may not be able to modify the genetic defects of the Ghanaian race. But the Inhumans are different. From their appearance until now, for countless years, I have been transforming my body. Its technology has a high probability of being able to make up for the genetic defects of the Ghanaian people. In addition, they have no sense of belonging to the Universal Federation of Humanity. Then, the emergence of the wormhole caused them to completely rebel. Take the initiative to contact the race near the wormhole, the Iron Inhumans. Indicates that he wants to take refuge. The Mo-Tai-Iran clan is only an extremely small group of servants among the Iran clan. They also want to become stronger. They also want to evolve into the main group. As a result, I hit it off with the Ghanaian people and got along well with each other. For tens of thousands of years, he has been pretending to be a pirate. I don't know how many human fleets were killed, and I didn't know how many evolutionary points were provided for them. As a result, the Motii human race gradually became stronger. It was originally planned to completely hollow out the molybdenum crystal mine. The Motii-Iran clan contact the main clan. Then follow the main group to attack the hinterland of the human race. Not to mention anything else, at least it would be no problem to wipe out the Earth Federation. When the time comes, the Mo-Tai-E human race will definitely receive a lot of benefits from the main race after making this great contribution. As for the Ghanaian people, it just so happened that a large-scale migration of the whole tribe happened at this time. But now, just a year or two before they were going to execute this plan, things were revealed. They even die. I don't know which link caused the problem. After tens of thousands of years, it has never been exposed. Now, all is lost. It's too late. Even the Mo-Tai-Iran tribe must be finished. Counting that the humans didn't kill them all. It's just that the matter of this wormhole has been concealed for tens of thousands of years without being reported. It also led to a large-scale attack by the human race. It was enough to make Thunder, the main group of the Inhumans, furious. The human race will not destroy their evil iron alien race. The Inhumans will also destroy them. To sum it up in one sentence, their fate will be the same as that of the Ghanaian people. Except perish. There is no other possibility. And after listening to Wu Li's interrogation results, Zian's face became even colder. The three women are also murderous. Shells were poured into the sky over the Ghanaian city as if they were free of charge. If Zian hadn't discovered it, wait for them. There is no other possibility except death. Not to mention that they are now completely bound to the human race. He also completely considers himself to be a member of the Universal Human Federation. Only part of their ethnic group is mentioned, but they are also within the scope of the Earth Federation. The alien army is attacking. Will their tribe not be spared? The entire Ghanaian tribe will die. The whole family can only die. Massacre. There is really no psychological burden. At this time, in the communicator, a call from the Federal Army was received. Zian and others' eyes suddenly lit up. He flew over without saying a word. The Earth Federation Army and the Divine Soul Empire Army have received orders. Any assault ship and below starship, if conditions permit. Let the brilliant fleet kill them all. These soldiers were quite happy with this order, because this is part of the reward that belongs to the brilliant fleet. They deserve it. This time the credit goes to the brilliant fleet and Zian. Too big. Even. Zian's name. They have all come into the view of the higher-ups of the Universal Human Federation. In less than a year. Destroy the insectoid conspiracy one after another. Now they are destroying the rebellious tribe, and then they will invade the inhuman tribe with a large army. Even the senior executives of the Universal Human Federation were surprised. Anyway, this time the reward is given to Zian. Absolutely huge. There is no doubt about this. When the brilliant fleet arrived in a hurry. As expected. I saw a Ghanaian fleet running desperately among the cruisers. What is interesting is. Zian recognized him at a glance. This fleet is none other than others. It was the Ghana Mine Protection Team from the Sea Dog Star. This is interesting, isn't it? The other party obviously also discovered the arrival of the brilliant fleet. When they saw these cruisers, they all made way for the brilliant fleet to come in. This Ghanaian Mine Protection Team finally seemed to understand something. The captain of the Mine Protection Team roared at the top of his lungs, "It's you. It turns out to be you. It must be you who reported on us. It must be you. Damn it. You all deserve to die. You are all a bunch of demons. We Ghanaians have a population of 800 billion. There are so many children, old people, and women among them. All dead. All killed by you demons. Why can you be so vicious? Vicious." His hysterical roar sounded in everyone's communicator. But answer his. Just the endless laughter. Vicious? Demon? How fucking funny is that? If Zian hadn't discovered your conspiracy in advance. Wait another 2 years. Humanity joins. Does the Earth Federation still exist? Zian's expression became a little more indifferent and he said calmly, "SB thing, what is the dog's name here? You Ghanaians are not only disgusting, but you also have brain problems? In 2 years, how many people will die in the Earth Federation? Huh? You, the Ghanaian race, have a population of 800 billion. How many billions does the Earth Federation have? Can you count them? How many old people, children, and women will die because of your Ghanaian ethnicity? Tell me now that we are demons? If the humans who protect me are demons, then I am happy to inform you. I am the devil from hell. You Ghanaians, with a population of 800 billion, will not only die, but you will also be nailed to the pillar of shame for eternity. Everything you do will be announced. You Ghanaians will be scolded by mankind for countless years. Let your souls never be reincarnated. What are you still doing? Let me kill them all. Kill them, and then continue to slaughter their race. Even if it's just a pet they keep, get rid of it. Really do it, leave no chickens or dogs behind." Zian spoke with anger and coldness. Without hesitation. Money is good, full firepower. Kill towards the opponent. And 3 women. I have long been disgusted by the disgusting and shameless remarks of the Ghanaian Mine Protection Team leader. Follow Zian and kill directly. Still the same. Time's boulder blocked forward. The 100% red and excellent boulder evolved through the hands of Zian. There are only 4 frigates and 7 reconnaissance ships in front of him. No pressure at all. Fox Chichi, full firepower. The firepower was so fierce that the surrounding federal and imperial troops twitched at the corners of their mouths. Then there's Meowth. She shuttled through the hail of bullets like a ghost. By the time Chi-Chi's firepower covered it, the defense of one of the starships was almost exhausted. Meow Xiaomi suddenly looked like a deadly death. Easily take out a starship. Leave gracefully. Not to mention Zian. He took action with anger, and when half of the parts of the brilliance reached the perfect pink quality. This mid-level assault ship, captained by the Ghanaian Mine Protection Team, was defenseless. In the other party's unwillingness and despair. Take it out easily. It's just a little more than 10 minutes. This fleet is headed by an assault ship. Then he was captured by the brilliant fleet. Explodes easily. See the people around you. Everyone was dumbfounded and dumbfounded, not just them. Even the three women themselves were stunned by their fighting power. They knew that after being strengthened by Zian, their starship combat effectiveness will be greatly improved. But now I know after actual combat, this is a huge improvement. It's clearly an exponential improvement. They themselves are top-notch geniuses. The starship has been specially customized and evolved by Zian. During these days, I learned a lot of United Star Wars skills. In addition, the enemy is a race with extremely low combat effectiveness, like the Ghana tribe. Everything is crushing. The three girls all received a lot of evolutionary points. Don't say anything else. There is absolutely no problem for Miao Xiaomi and Tai Mei to evolve to the 10th level reconnaissance ship. Hiss, that's awesome. This fighting power? Are you sure this is just a fleet of 2 black iron stars? It only has frigates at the top and the rest are all reconnaissance ships? Outrageous. Too outrageous. It seems that our Earth Federation will have another powerful fleet in the near future. These federal troops and imperial troops were frightened by the fleet's combat effectiveness. If we say that the brilliant fleet is evenly matched with this fleet, they are not so shocked. Oh. This is crushing. Crush without any suspense. The meaning is completely different. However, now is not the time to marvel at this. The massacre continues. After the brilliant fleet killed this fleet, he once again threw himself into the massacre. Under the joint attack of so many starships, a population of 800 billion was slaughtered in just over 40 minutes. The surfaces of these planets and satellites, they were all plowed by fire 3 or 4 times. In the end, various biological and chemical bombs were directly dropped. Let's put it that way. These 510 military-grade biological and chemical bombs were dropped. Basically, there will be a mass extinction of all life on these planets, be it plants or animals. And it lasts for thousands of years. It will take 1,000 years to return to normal. Another surface. Strong corrosive solvents will also be added. This strong corrosive solvent can easily dissolve metals and other substances. In this situation, even those Ghanaians who hid underground to avoid the bombardment, or be gassed to death, or come out wearing armor, but strong corrosive solvents can easily dissolve their armor. All in all, Ghanaian people, there are no more real chickens or dogs left. No. It should be the Ghana star system where the Ghana race is located. No matter what kind of life it is. Even if it's bacteria. No one can survive without it. This is the iron-blooded method of the human race in the universe. In this way, only in this way, can the countless vassal races be deterred from betraying the human race easily. Otherwise, that price, it's definitely not something they can afford. This is a battle of massacre. Naturally, there is no damage to one's own side. At the same time, support starships dispatched from various ministries also arrived one after another. Because there will be continuous high-intensity combat later. Supporting starships is even more important than fighting starships. Such as now. Because the Ghanaian planet was plowed. And the ammunition was dropped as if it were free of charge. The ammunition consumption of the brilliant fleet is actually quite large. But that's okay. The arrival of more than 100 super-large support starships and support spacecraft easily solved these problems for them. Support is also divided into starships and spaceships. Support starships and have certain combat capabilities. Therefore, supporting starships can send combat materials to the front line on their own. If necessary, you can even join the fight. And support spacecraft. Almost without combat capabilities. The main purpose is to send resources to the rear troops, and then the rear troops will send the materials to the front line, or be escorted by the fleet to the front line. Here, it is naturally safe enough. He went directly to the support spacecraft. Support spaceships are actually equivalent to cargo spacecrafts, and they are all very small. They all start with a length of 10,000 meters and are very bulky. Long, wide, and tall. It can even be used for starship repairs and as a rest and entertainment area for soldiers. To put it more simply, that larger support spacecraft is even equivalent to a mobile city. It is said that there are many such support spaceships on the border, and they are also very popular. Even most of these support spacecraft are operated by private companies, or simply belong to a super powerful fleet. Bio-captains are human too. Besides killing, rest and entertainment are also needed. The brilliant fleet drove past. Because this support spacecraft belongs to the Earth Federation, and it is fighting for the Earth Federation. So it's all free. In the bright number, Zian licked his lips and said excitedly, "I'll remember it later. For fuel, give me the best fuel. Replace all ammunition with the best for me, it's free if you don't use it." The three women were speechless. Is their captain a little too calculating? You are so rich, why are you still buying these millions of things? The three women sneered. Okay, I really care. Where else does Zian need to speak? Fuel is the best. Ammo is also the best. The best fuel and the best ammunition, based on the load capacity of their starship, cost millions. Not to mention Zian's. He did the math. It has to be 7 million. These 7 million resources are just free of charge. No fool would want it. Move the starship into one of the large support ships. After quickly replenishing supplies. Only then did Zian feel satisfied. Beautiful. If I hadn't felt that I had gone too far just now. He wished he could drain all the fuel from the Brilliance and replace it with high-end fuel provided by the Earth Federation. High-end fuel can provide longer battery life in a smaller volume. This thing is absolutely good. But again, very expensive. After the army's material resources are replenished, the next battle is about to begin. After all, we have been delayed here for so long to prevent accidents. Naturally, the sooner the better. This time period. Wu Lu and the others also made a battle plan. Their 3 immortal ships will serve as a charge. One person sets off with an army. As for fleet command, it is up to those commanding talents. High-end combat power does not mean excellent combat command capabilities. The people present were divided into 3 starship armies. Zian's brilliant fleet was assigned to the 3rd fleet. That is to say, based on the information obtained from the interrogation of the captured Modi alien, it was confirmed that the relatively safe area was under the responsibility of the 3rd fleet. The strongest captain of the 3rd fleet is a middle-aged man from the Seoul Empire. Because he knows the relationship between Zian and Wu Lu. So even if he is an immortal ship captain, his attitude towards Zian is also quite friendly, even a little affectionate. Zian, when a war breaks out, you have to pay attention to yourself. You'd better stay at the back, wait until the troops in front confirm that there is no danger, then follow up. After all, the battlefield situation is chaotic, and we cannot ensure that we always pay attention to your safety. After hearing what the other party said, Zian didn't speak yet. Lu Yu immediately said, "Junior brother, my suggestion is that you'd better not go. The battlefield is dangerous, especially when we go deep into the enemy's hinterland, and any unexpected situation may happen. The danger is really beyond what you usually fight against interstellar pirates." Zian smiled. Danger on the battlefield? No. He dared to say this. Everyone present counts as one. Including Wu Lu and the 3 immortal ship captains. Let's talk about the dangers of the battlefield. He said second, who dares to say first? He died countless times in the Star Wars simulation. Died at least 50,000 times. After dying so many times, how could he not know the dangers of the battlefield? Let's put it that way. Only the battlefield. Only then can he fully unleash his full fighting power. Only then can he truly live. Enemies at the level of star pirates, he really couldn't muster much interest. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, I will take care of myself. Besides, Captain Lin doesn't have to take special care of us. Our brilliant fleet follows to kill the enemy and also picks up the rags. If due to our fault, the soldiers of the army are distracted from taking care of us, thus affecting their combat effectiveness, or even causing danger to them, then even if you let me go, I won't go. So there is no need to take special care of us. This is a premise. To put it simply, you can just think of our brilliant fleet as air. Whether you're dead or alive, you really don't have to worry about us. We know whether it is dangerous or not. Once there is real danger, you don't need to say anything. We ourselves can run faster than the bunnymen." Hu Chi-Chi's exquisite little face looked at Su Zian inexplicably. "Are they bunnymen fast?" And Su Zian's words. It also made all these soldiers laugh silently. "Don't say anything else. Just what Su Zian said." They all listened happily and listened to it. In the end, it was Principal Gu Qingzhan who said, "The eagle will eventually soar on its own. You are adults now. We have no reason to make any decision for you. I just hope you don't let us down." Su Zian immediately smiled and said, "Don't worry, Principal. I'm still waiting to oust you and become the principal myself in the future. So don't worry." Gu Qingzhan. School senior leaders. The others were also stunned. The three girls looked at Su Zian as if they were gods. A new student. Say it in front of the principal. Are you going to oust him and become the principal yourself in the future? This. Nyobi or you Nyobi. Clothes, Starship Army. Begin to enter from the wormhole in an orderly manner. Bear the brunt. Those must be the three immortal ships, star destroyers, and deep space ships. Then there are battleships and cruisers. There is nothing to say about Su Zian's brilliant fleet dash. Definitely the last one. This is their protection. After all, no one can be sure of the specific situation on the other side. From the Earth Federation side, jump to the Inhuman side. Just jump time. It takes more than 50 hours. In these 50 hours, who knows what will happen on the other side. Enter the wormhole in an orderly manner. Su Zian is thinking about it. Do you want to mobilize the little wife's brilliant account? If transferred. How should we get there? There will still be a federal army stationed here. Think about it. Su Zian felt that there was no way to take the little wife's number with her this time. But it's not a big problem. There are so many strong people following him. Safety is still very guaranteed. Soon. It was their turn. Su Zian took the lead and entered it. More than 50 hours of space jump. I can't make calls or connect to the network of the virtual metaverse. Nature is boring. Su Zian immediately closed his eyes. Enter the Star Wars simulation. There is no end to the improvement of strength. Especially as Star Wars becomes more and more powerful. A little bit of improvement requires a lot of time to accumulate. So just have time. Su Zian will enter Star Wars simulation to improve himself. Time flies. More than 40 hours later. Su Zian stopped the Star Wars simulation. Starting to regain my mental strength, we are about to enter the territory of the Inhumans. I was still quite nervous and excited inside. Another few hours passed. The distorted space gradually became normal. And when everything returns to normal, here. It was the deafening explosion coming from the supersensory receiver. A vacuum does not transmit sound. But with modern technology, this is not a problem at all. Come out of the wormhole. Then I saw a large number of fleets bombarding all the inhabited planets and life in front of me. The Star Destroyer finally showed the meaning of the word Star Destroyer at this moment. The extremely powerful main gun unleashed unimaginable terrifying power. With one shot, a huge hole was directly punched out on the surface of the planet. Even a small planet like that can be penetrated by a single shot. This is the Star Destroyer. Destroying stars means being able to really annihilate a planet. Not to mention the immortal ship. That guy explained what terror is. I finally understand. Why led by the immortal ship? Able to destroy at least one nebula-level strength. Earth-sized planet, it can be said that there is no resistance in front of the immortal ship. One shot at a time. The antimatter cannon is the most obvious feature of the immortal ship. The immortal ship can already initially use antimatter cannons. Even if the length of the immortal ship does not exceed 10,000 meters, just one antimatter cannon is enough to suppress a nebula. Under their sweep, no star system near the wormhole is spared. Don't think about looting now. Destroy. It's the theme song. Third Fleet, prepare for war. The calm but bloodthirsty voice of the commander of the Third Fleet sounded through the communicators of everyone in the Third Fleet. The Third Fleet begins its primary phase. The brilliant fleet belongs to one of the squadrons. But it also has extremely free authority to act. That is to say, they don't have to follow orders at all. Go wherever you want. Just report any urgent information. Brilliant fleet, follow me, let's go. Zian excitedly issued action instructions to the brilliant fleet. Directly separated from the fighting team. Follow the fleet. Of course there is no meat to eat. They have to do it. Just look for those low-level starships or low-level fleets. They have all reached the hinterland of the Inhumans. They are not afraid that there will be no fleet to help them. Let's put it that way. It's here. As long as you can fight it, you can have nothing to worry about. You can kill any living object you encounter, and not only will you not be punished by law, you will also be praised. This is the coolest place. Ho ho ho. Let's go, let's go. Taimei had roared like a wild animal. That voice frightened Zian. Miao, Xiaomi and Huqiqi were also extremely excited. Zian glanced across. He directly locked on a direction and rushed over. That direction. He just saw more than 10 low-level starships running that way, and these low-level starships are not the targets of the starship army. Not even bothering to waste that ammunition. Brilliant fleet. He increased his speed to the extreme and pursued the dozens of starships that were escaping in panic. Those dozen starships are indeed very low-level. Not even an assault ship. They are all small shrimps like reconnaissance ships and frigates. But the brilliant fleet doesn't mind. Taimei, you don't need to be defensive anymore. Just hit him. Leave those frigates to me. The reconnaissance ship can just kill you, Zian ordered. The order is completed as soon as it is issued. The Brilliants directly fired a super precise shot. The two main guns fired at the same time, followed by more than a dozen rounds of secondary battery shells. First, directly blow up the engines of the 5 frigates. It's a killing feast. The Modi alien tribe. It is a small ethnic group at the lowest level. The combat effectiveness is no different from that of ordinary humans. Even 5 frigates. In front of Zian. There was no way to fight back. Zian didn't even bother to dodge their shells. Anyway, there are still a large number of support fleets behind. Spend whatever you want, don't be afraid of excessive consumption. Not to mention the 3 girls. There is no question about their fighting ability. The most fierce among them is undoubtedly Huqiqi. In the face of these reconnaissance ships, her combat effectiveness was fully demonstrated. No reconnaissance ship could survive the 3rd round under her fire coverage. Most of them were defeated in the 1st round. Asking for flowers, at most the 2nd round. Miao Xiaomi is not far behind, she has the most peaceful fighting style. Use dodge and point kill to the extreme. Definitely not as good as Zian. But these days, Zian's careful teaching has greatly improved her combat effectiveness. Perhaps the slowest kill is Taimei's boulder. She is the most extreme human shield, capable of fighting starships. How can they compare to Hu Chi-Chi and Miao Xiaomi? In the end she was awesome. Seeing that there are fewer and fewer starships left for her, finally roared. What can't be blown up? Unimportant. Instead, he directly turned the engine power of the boulder to the maximum. It actually rammed straight into the enemy starship. Under the terrifying engine power, this boulder is like an oversized warhead, coupled with its terrifying defensive capabilities. At the end, she turned out to be the first to resolve the battle. Any enemy starship hit by her monolith, the energy shield was directly exploded. The starship was directly hit and disintegrated. Simple, direct, and extremely brutal. Zian couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. He suddenly felt. Time seems to have found a way of fighting that is unique to her. In the case of insufficient attack power, hit it directly. Just hit him and that's it, because no one can hit her with an ordinary starship. In Zian's mind, he also has some more directions and ideas for the next evolution of Time's boulder. Perhaps the boulder will become another killer weapon of the brilliant fleet. Killing. Never stop killing. The three dominant groups in the universe are deadly enemies with each other. An unrelenting feud. The kind that is absolutely indestructible and impossible. Humans and Inhumans won't work, Inhumans and insects won't work, and humans and Terrans won't work either. In this case, there is no need to think about searching at all. Endless killing, killing all living things in sight. This is the only reason why they raided here this time. Zian knows. Wu Lu and the others knew better. So, it is impossible for them to care about Zian. It is even more impossible to say that a group of fleets will be surrounded and killed by the brilliant fleet as before. Because there is no such time. Their time is tighter. They have to do it for a limited time. Maximize the destruction of this star field of the Inhumans, not just for the sake of evolutionary value or anything like that. In the life and death battle between the two ethnic groups, actually, considering self-interest is no longer important at all. Zian sighed. In the beginning, I actually considered getting more evolution points if I could get them. But later, he seemed affected too. Start killing for the sake of killing. If you see someone you can beat, go for it. If the starship is damaged, just use the evolution points to quickly recover. Don't even think about saving. He no longer knows how many evolution points he has accumulated. Including the three girls, they didn't care at all how much evolution points they earned. There is only one thought now, dash. Kill. Long time, careful. Zian roared and at the same time controlled the brilliant anti-aircraft gun and fired several shots wildly in the direction of Hu Chi-Chi. Even though he was extremely mentally exhausted, he finally blew up the missile. Zian breathed a sigh of relief. Then he stared at the Inhuman destroyer that was speeding towards them. It was so far away that one could feel the opponent's madness. Without hesitation, he gave the order to retreat, run. Finished. The first one turned around and fired without hesitation. The three women didn't hesitate at all. He turned around and started running away, following Zian. When the three girls were given the chance to evolve the starship, Zian specially accelerated the engine of their starship. Although there is a destroyer behind it. But when the two sides are so far apart, catching up with them is a matter of time, but it will be impossible to catch up for a while. While running, Zian started shaking people. An Inhuman destroyer appeared here, asking for support. Requesting support. The voice just fell. Someone immediately responded, wait. Being there in a minute. Although Zian and the others are free to move, but not stupid enough to stay too far away from the Starfleet army. That is not self-confidence, but stupidity. Today, it's already the third day since they broke into the Inhumans. The Vanguard troops had already hit unknown places. The Vanguard is the temporary first and second fleets. Their main targets are only those above deep space ships. They didn't even bother to take action against targets of battleships and below. All left to the Third Fleet. Their main purpose, it's for a limited time. 'Cause the greatest destruction. Anyway, based on the good news that came back by chance, they seem to have reached an inhuman dynasty to which the Inhumans belonged. Not surprisingly, I can give that dynasty and that dynasty's army today. Certainly, our own side is not without losses. But compared to the losses of the Inhumans, our own losses can be said to be minimal. At the fastest speed, 1 minute, even if the opponent is not that fast, he still can't catch up. The Inhumans are either strong in defense, either it's better to attack. Speed is something the Inhumans are not good at all. 1 minute later, we are about to catch up. A sudden energy cannon directly blew up the Inhuman destroyer, which was so angry that it lost its mind. The next second, a battleship appeared in front of the brilliant fleet. A joking voice came from it, "What's going on? How did you provoke this destroyer to pursue you regardless of life or death?" Zian smiled helplessly, "Why else? A few of us just set up an ambush. Maybe he blew up all his family's starships." The man laughed loudly, and then said in a solemn voice, "I think so. You should take a rest now. We have been fighting for 3 days, and even our mental strength is a little bit unbearable. If nothing else happens, we should all be evacuating in 2 days. In 5 days, the enemy's powerful starship should also arrive." Zian thought for a while and said, "Okay, let's take a rest. But Brother Huang, if you encounter a hiding low-level fleet later, remember to inform us." The battleship captain named Brother Huang said with a helpless smile, I know. You guys should take a rest quickly. Remember to rest in the rear, it's not safe here." Zian nodded repeatedly, "Yeah, I understand." There is no ink at the moment either. With their mental strength at its peak, the 3 women headed to the rear of the fleet to rest for a few hours. It was indeed too tiring. These days, he didn't even know how many fleets he had destroyed, let alone how many times the Brilliance had been damaged and almost destroyed. The most dangerous time was when there was a destroyer hiding nearby. If the Brilliance had not been powerful enough to withstand the blow, and there happened to be a small team nearby to immediately provide support, I'm afraid it was really dangerous that time. After all, they are too far apart. Zian can't use wealth points to jump to the little wife's brilliant account. But it doesn't stop there. On the battlefield, any surprise is possible. It's time to kill. But there are indeed many accidents. The result is, sometimes it is necessary to urgently use the evolution value to repair the Brilliance. He didn't know how many evolution points he had earned. I also don't know how many evolution points I have consumed. Because almost all the time, they are both being hunted and being hunted. And at this time, finally, there is time. Come to the rear. There was no need for Zian and the others to speak. A support ship sent by the Earth Federation. A maintenance drone was immediately dispatched to repair the 4-man starship. Zian quickly looked at his evolution value. And when he saw the column of evolution values, even his expressions were stunned. 59,192 points. Nearly 60,000 evolution points. To know, these evolutionary values still consumed a lot of leftovers after repairing the starship. It will be even more terrifying. As for the 3 women, they were also silent for a long time. Obviously, they also saw their remaining evolutionary points. Everyone was frightened. Zian quickly asked, "How much is your evolution worth?" "Taimei, you speak first." From Taimei's side, the first thing that came was bursts of giggles. After giggling for a long time, he finally replied, I actually have 3,020. From the sound, you can all hear Taimei's suppressed excitement. Zian's eyes widened. don't think that this is very little. To know. Taimei consumes the most evolution points among them, because she has to withstand the most attacks. At the same time, her attack method is to run rampant. In this case, you can still get a full 3000 points of evolution value. To be honest, it's already scary. After all, during these 3 days, they spend most of their time chasing and being hunted. There aren't many real face-to-face battles. At this time, Miao Xiaomi also said with a trembling tone, I have 5,523 points. Hu Qiqi also responded with great emotion at this moment, I am 7,391 points. Su Zian let out a heavy breath. The smile on his face became stronger and stronger. No wonder, they say that the battlefield is the place where people grow the fastest. In the past, I always thought that the reason why people grow the fastest on the battlefield is that the strength of Star Wars grows the fastest. I just know now. It turns out there are still a lot of evolution values. It's no wonder that our Chinese Academy ranks first in Star Wars every year. On the battlefield, as long as you can survive. It's like getting rich overnight. It's better now, so much evolution value. Enough for me to evolve into a high-level frigate with 100% perfect quality, or even an assault ship. And you are enough to make your starship evolve into a primary frigate with 100% perfect quality. There are still 2 days left. In the past 2 days, if you get more. Having said this, Su Zian paused and immediately issued an order, take a rest now, but there's only a maximum of 3 hours of rest. Next time, I won't have such a good opportunity again. The real battlefield is far from as easy as it is now. So, we must seize this opportunity. Also, the next war. Mainly give the evolution value to Taimei. Next is Miao Miao. Strive for the next 2 days. Your evolution values have all reached 10,000 points. Only by making progress together can the strength of our brilliant fleet be the strongest. Hu Qiqi said without any hesitation, okay. Miao Xiaomi responded without hesitation, I know. Taimei still had the same silly smile as before. Su Zian smiled slightly. This is what he really appreciates about the 3 women. Even when he proposed to let Hu Qiqi and Miao Xiaomi give up their evolution points to Taimei, he did it without any hesitation. As long as they had any hesitation just now. Su Zian follows up. Maybe I won't try my best to cultivate them like now. And these 3 days of war. The help they brought to me was indeed very, very great. For example, the time I was hit by a cruiser. If it weren't for Hu Qiqi's extreme firepower coverage and Miao Xiaomi's extreme crazy burst of 0.3, Taimei would have blocked Su Zian without hesitation. If Su Zian fired the next secondary battery shell of the cruiser, and the attacks of Hu Qiqi and Miao Xiaomi slightly disrupted the opponent's rhythm, I'm afraid that cruiser was just a sighting. Su Zian's brilliant account has already been blown up. Not to mention that in normal battles, they intercept assault ships for themselves to prevent escape and the like. Anyway, it's really, really helpful. If not for them, this time it was just his own words. It is absolutely impossible to obtain such a terrifying amount of evolution values. Next, if possible, Su Zian will try his best to give them evolution points first. 2. This is nearly 60,000 evolution points. It's more than enough. At least for a while afterwards. Can't even use it all. Of course. If he sees an assault ship, Su Zian still won't let it go. Just give priority to chasing down the enemy fleet with the most frigates. That's all. 3 hours flew by. 4 people set off again. Last 2 days. Whether we can really achieve long-term evolution without worrying about it. Just look at this time, in a meteorite belt. The dazzling fleet was carefully hidden. But the communication is open. While waiting for the enemy to come to the door, they chatted. They don't plan to go to those planets. Because of those alien planets and star systems. Every one of them was plowed. What they were waiting for were the Inhumans who fled and hid first after receiving the news. This is already the afternoon of the fourth day. It is expected that they will have to withdraw in a few hours. But the three girls were very excited and satisfied. Because with Zian's full help, their evolution value all exceeded 10,000 points. Zian's evolution value reached 66,000 points. Although it has not reached 70,000 points. But it doesn't matter at all. To know. This time, their brilliant fleets added up. But he gained more than 100,000 evolution points. How terrifying. This trip. Really make a lot of money. At this moment, Zian suddenly felt something in his heart. The Brilliance's detection radar seemed to have captured traces of local starships. Immediately he became energetic and said, "It's all taken care of. I found enemies around me. It is estimated to be a fleet of the highest assault ships. Eat this fleet and we can withdraw." Zian's voice rang through the women's communicators. The three girls suddenly became energetic and were about to speak. The voice of the commander of the Third Fleet suddenly sounded in the communicators of the four of them. "Attention please. Third Fleet cruisers and below, all personnel retreat. Including all support fleets. Immediately. The enemy's vanguard has arrived. The leader is an immortal ship. Speed, retreat. Retreat. Retreat." The commander's continuous retreating sounds made everyone's hearts tremble. Zian regretfully looked at the fleet scanned by the detection radar, and finally ordered, "Withdraw. They are free. However, once there is a mandatory order, you must obey it. Otherwise, it will affect others when the time comes. For example, I have to hunt down this fleet. In case there is a strong person around. When the time comes, someone strong from your own side will come to rescue you. If the opponent comes again, the strong one will come again, and your own side will come again. Once it is delayed, a large number of people will die. Regret is regret." Zian didn't want his own strong men to die because of his greed. Moreover, "I have really made enough this time. An evolution value of 66,000. What the hell? It's enough for me to evolve into an assault ship with 100% perfect quality. Still missing this point? No longer hesitate." He took the lead and flew towards the wormhole at the fastest speed. Just getting close to here. Then I saw a lot of wars going on in the distance. The strong support from the Inhumans was faster than expected. At the same time, the first and second fleets are already on their way back at full speed. This time, according to the news sent back from the front line, destroyed 3 Inhuman Nebula-level forces. Among them, ethnic groups like the Tairan tribe destroyed thousands of them. Quickly, make room for everyone and let the Brilliant Fleet jump in and leave first. The Brilliant Fleet has just arrived. The commander immediately gave the order. The fleet that was lining up to evacuate in an orderly manner made room at the front for the Brilliant Fleet to jump in. Joking, chatting and laughter continued. "Brilliant Fleet, I heard that your harvest this time is very good." "Yes, it is said that you destroyed a bank of the Inhumans the day before yesterday? And robbed some nanostar clusters that the Inhumans did not have time to take away? TSK, you might as well make more than us." Hearing these words, Zian immediately narrowed his eyes with laughter. Answered, No. We are a fleet that attacked a small Inhuman bank. That fleet brought several nanostar clusters with it. We just took it down, ha ha ha, nanoclusters. It is a universal, high-level currency. At the same time, it is also an essential energy source for space jumps. The value is very high. A complete nanostar cluster is worth a full 100 million. This time, Zian and the others captured 7 nanostar clusters, which is equivalent to 700 million. Earn blood. The 3 women will each share 100 million, while Zian will enjoy 400 million exclusively. Because in that battle, Zian contributed the most and made the greatest contribution. Dividing into 4 nanoclusters is a matter of course, and after these 4 nanostar clusters divided their destinations, Zian's wealth value, it suddenly jumped to 60,000 points. Only 40,000 points are missing. It will break through 100,000 points of wealth value. That is a difference of 400 million. The explosions behind him were getting closer. Finally, it was the turn of the brilliant fleet. Zian did not hesitate and entered side by side with the girls. Only one immortal ship can pass through this wormhole at a time. But frigates and reconnaissance ships like them, multiple ships can pass through at one time. Space is distorted. It also means that this inhuman war is completely over. However, some follow-up matters are not over yet. At least, Zian's reward hasn't been distributed yet. School awards. Earth Federation rewards. Rewards from the Soul Empire. There are also rewards from the Universal Human Federation. It's exciting just thinking about it. After a long jump of more than 50 hours. Finally, when reappearing, the Ghana star system has returned to human territory and has become a ruin. And outside, a large number of fleets blocked the place. These fleets all came later. There are 10 immortal ships coming, as well as several star destroyers, deep space ships, etc. They have only one purpose here, always ready to support. Then prevent the inhuman starship from coming out from the other end. In fact, a group of immortal ships have already gone over to provide support. Will unite Wu Lu and several of his immortal ships. Become the final force behind the break. Wait until all your own personnel have retreated. This wormhole will be destroyed directly. Completely close bilateral exchanges. This is not a battlefield, this is the hinterland of mankind. Not suitable for use as a battlefield. About 5 or 6 hours passed. Finally, the evacuees from the front line also gradually appeared. For example, Lu Yuyu. There are also the senior officials of Shenzhou University. Very lucky. None of the senior officials of Shenzhou Academy were harmed. Although the hull of the ship was severely damaged, at least none of them fell. As soon as they appeared, they looked for traces of the brilliant fleet. After confirming that the brilliant fleet was safe, they all breathed a sigh of relief. No one talked to Zian or anything. These days, everyone is exhausted. Zian and the others had already fallen asleep. Zian had just taken a shower and had slept in the captain's living room for 6 hours. The 3 girls are no exception. They were all fast asleep. More than 5 hours passed. After Zian woke up completely, what they saw was that all their own fleets had withdrawn, including Wu Lu and the others. And at this time, some very special-looking spacecraft are using some instruments to repair the wormhole in space. Once the space is repaired, it means the disappearance of this wormhole. Looked around. Many people have left, including Lu Yuyu, Wu Lu, and others. Zian lowered his head and looked at his optical brain watch. Sure enough, there are their messages on it. The content of the message is very simple. That is to say, they have to rush back to make a detailed report on this situation 113. And this harvest will also be coordinated and so on. When the fleet travels, there are special spaceships used to transport plundered things. It's not just about running away and killing people. You are stupid and only kill people, not plunder. Principal, why didn't you leave? Zian opened the communication and asked Gu Qingzhan and the others who were parked nearby. Hey, you kid finally woke up? Gu Qingzhan said with a smile, and it could be seen that he was in a very good mood. Aren't we waiting for you? I think you have gained so much this time, you shouldn't continue to carry out the mission, right? I'll just wait for you and go back together. Zian smiled, okay. I really have no intention of continuing the mission. The harvest this time is big enough. Now that the decision has been made, then there's not much to delay. Just leave this place to the Federation, and they won't have anything to do from now on. Immediately, starships were launched one after another, heading in the direction of Shenzhou University. Go as fast as possible. Zian didn't stop over to evolve the brilliant number. It's not even a few months away. If we travel at full speed, we can arrive in a month at most. Don't worry about the danger yet, joke. A star destroyer and several deep space ships are following. Tell me which star-level pirate dares to come? It's noisy. This is not how you seek death. 28 days later. Finally. The Chinese star system. Already in sight. Zian couldn't wait in his heart. I really want to see it. How strong is the brilliant account with 100% overall pink perfect quality? I want to see it even more. 100% overall pink color, perfect quality assault ship level brilliant. How powerful is he? Believe. It must be very, very amazing, right? Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.